Thank you. Indeed. And greetings upon you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me here again on a live stream. Another moment, another opportunity to tell one another who we are. Who we are! Who are we? You know, we ask ourselves, look at it. Look, freaking Cable. You didn't lie, dude. You didn't lie, man. Here you are giving gold. So I want to interrupt myself there a little bit. Cable sent me a message. He's like, come on, Melt. Stream fast. I want to give you gold, he says. And my reply to that was, of course, your presence, Cable, is worth more than gold. And here he is. Thank you for joining us, Brother Bear. We love you so freaking much, dude. So much. You're the one that's beautiful. Kira Burb, so much love to you. Thank you for joining me. Katie, thank you for joining me as well. Of course, Brother Ryan. Does the quality seem better than ever? So it's weird that you say that, Brother Ryan, because as soon as I, hit the go live button, I was like, this angle is beautiful. That's the first thing that I thought. So I don't know if the quality is better, but hopefully it is. Maybe Reddit is like finally upping their bitrate or something. Again, thank you for the gold, Kevel. Damn, y'all so quick. Good morning and good day, lovey. Jovan, like love has to be shared frantically. We're like, quickly, quickly share love before it's too late. Okay, I kind of want to read something we're saying from the back of the book today. Let me take a moment to go through a few of them. It's a little bug. Mm. Okay, so the original, I'm going to adjust a little bit, but it goes, hold only thoughts, speak only words, and do only things that you want God to agree with. That is the original thing that I wrote down. But in context of today's topic, in context of what I want to address today, is in this way we present ourselves. The way that we kind of inject ourselves into this world. And we do so with our thoughts, first and foremost. Then we do so with our words. And then we do so with our actions. And if those three things are in alignment, if your thoughts, your words, and your actions are in alignment, then you live as you live. You live as you want to live, maybe. You live as the person that you want to be. And in this context, it kind of brings in this element of hold only thoughts, speak only words, and do only things that you want God to agree with. But what do you want to agree with? The thing, the person, the energy that you want to bring into the world. Reference that. Ask that part of yourself. Ask the part of yourself that you want to be. If the things you're thinking, saying, and doing is in alignment with that. And I feel if we do more of that, it's just a matter of time. One true, selfless act always inspires another. I think that came from a movie, some sort of Christmas movie. Can't remember its name though. Love starts where you are and flows out to others. Love starts where you are, friends, and flows out to others. I feel I feel so sensitive as of late. Ermias Plur. You know, my head has been so interesting, like really, really interesting in a way where I'm like, I don't know. No, I do know. I it's like I'm walking a minefield, you know, to say it in so many ways. And it's like my brain is has this pressure that it's constantly under, right? Or the veins inside of my brain is under pressure. And if I do things that create strain on my body, that create strain in my way of thinking, create strain in my actions, if you will, you know, the way I'm trying to express myself into the world, I gain more of that pressure. And it's been this dual-edged sword of something I'm very grateful for and something that's allowing me so much perspective, while at the same time, you know, feeling like it's something I have to tiptoe around. And yet, in the context of what we're trying to talk about today, in the context of who we want to be, I only get headaches when I do things that is not me, interestingly enough. Hey Naomi, thank you for joining me, my beloved friend. So nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us for even a little bit. How are you feeling? How are you doing? I'm gonna wet my scarf a little bit. It's brazenly hot, and that tree isn't doing the best job of cutting out all the beams. Ooh. So this gets hotter, and then the hotter. Is that wet enough? No, no, it's not. More, please. So it's been this interesting balance that I've tried to hold, and there are things that I've had to stop doing. Things that I had to stop doing that I've wanted to stop doing for a long time, knowing that that is not the me I want to be. And yet, because my mind, it feels like mind wasn't objecting to those things, I felt like I could justify it. You know, touching on what we said yesterday, I felt like it could be justified for me to do certain things, even though a part of me might know that it's not good for me. Where now, with the sensitivity that I don't know if I gained it. A part of me hopes it goes away. Please, sometime, okay, sometime go away. Like it's been interesting. It's been so interesting, and it's been just reminding me over and over and over and over again of what I want to be. Yesterday we had a little bit of an exchange with a friend, and it we touched pretty much instantly on the story we tell ourselves, the story we tell the world, the story we tell our loved ones. You know, and it's touching on this understanding that we're the creators of our own realities. We're the ones manifesting what we see. You know, like everything that you decree is. So if you decree, I am, enter negative thing here, then you've decreed that. You have told not only me, not only yourself, but literally the entire universe that this is me. I am thing. You know, and realizing that you have that much power and trying to take control over that, you know, take control over your thoughts. That's a little bit difficult sometimes, you know. And again, not taking control as in you're not allowed to think certain things. Rather, when you think certain things, to bring the other side of that perspective. Words, obviously, you know, I feel we do have control over that, even though we do sometimes say things that we might not mean. And then actions. Whew, actions very much, very much can be one of those things that we do in the heat of the moment as well. Same with words, but it's not necessarily out of our control. Never out of our control. And it's been such like a lesson of learning, just to watch myself, and to observe myself in the same capacity that I observe the rest of the world. And I feel it's like I cannot not observe, you know, with this pressure. And it's odd because for the longest time, I felt very attuned, accustomed to external stimuli, and I could learn from that and I could gain information from that. But now the external stimuli are influencing me internally, which has always been the case. But now I have to pay attention to it. I have to pay attention to it. And a part of me doesn't want to. And I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's a feeling of not wanting to be responsible, not wanting to take full control, not wanting to disappoint myself or hurt myself, or wanting to be able to do things without feeling like there's going to be consequences. Especially that one. Man, oh man, not wanting any consequences. And that's a very thing. It doesn't have to be something that's bad. It can just be like eating sugar. Like, to give you an example, today's meals, or what I ate today, was some dried meat, a mango, and there is this sweet, what we call hearts, and it's like a dark red or dark pink, piece of gelatin on a kind of like milky pink piece of gelatin, and then it's covered in sugar, and it's amazing. I love jelly sweeties, sweets. We call it sweeties in Afrikaans. I love them. I genuinely love them. And there's an entire bag full of them. And instead of, getting myself a little bowl and topping it off and then finishing that, I ate two. I, I ate this understanding of this knowing that, yeah, it's delicious. I agree. I can see it's amazing. But do you need that much of it? You do realize you're gonna have to pay the consequences if you eat that much of it. And then just by listening to myself in that moment, instead of pretending like there's not gonna be any consequences, pretending like I'm not gonna have to go through whatever I'm gonna have to go through afterwards, be it a drop in blood sugar, be it, my joints being tense the day after, be it an extra layer of headache, be it, gaining weight. There's so much that we do that doesn't necessarily serve us. And this is just an example that I'm trying to make. I'm not saying don't eat sweets. Definitely not. But we do some things in our lives that doesn't serve us. Makes me think as well, on the other side of, again, the story that we try to tell ourselves and the story we tell the world, and showing up. Like, I've been showing up consecutively since we've started with this journey to a yoga class with Ryan as well. The link is in the Discord if your friends would like to join us for that. And it's been such a beautiful practice. Like, one of the things that me and Ryan had a discussion about is the future and where it is this journey is going, what it is we'll be expected to do. And one of the things that I understood from the start of this journey is that there's gonna be things that I have to be, if you will. The story that I've been telling myself, the story that I've been telling the world, I have to live up to that. And this has been a part of it. Like, this journey into yoga has been a part of that story I want to tell myself, that I want to tell the world. It's something that I feel is so much benefit just in realigning ourselves of our own bodies, reminding ourselves of the way we move, reminding ourselves of the places in our bodies that has tension. And we go throughout our days, moving from one thing to another, never allowing that. Sometimes for years. People go years, decades, their entire lives without ever experiencing a relief from that tension that we hold. Ryan said something very beautiful that I would like to share with you friends as well. There is a death pose, it's called, where you completely relax yourself. You have your arms spread out, you have your legs spread out. And then I start from the top of my head, and then I scan down. And then you reference every point in which you scan, and you ask yourself, is there any tension that I'm holding in this part of my body? And you release it. In Ryan's words, you let gravity do the work for you. And today, Ryan like jokingly said as we were demonstrating all of the positions or poses, you know, the most difficult pose is this one, the one where you're completely lying down, you know, surrendering to gravity. And at first I was like, excuse me. And then, you know, through the yoga session, I was referencing that information and I was thinking about it and I was trying to unpack it. And it came to me that it is just a very clear message, very clear lesson in how busy we are. Like we're doing one thing, we're doing another thing, and that complete surrender, that complete letting go of tension in our lives is something that's so difficult for us to do. And I genuinely believe that that is not, or rather the opposite. We shouldn't be telling ourselves this story of tension. And it's ironic that I say that because we're in the middle of a time where there's a bug in my water. Come here, dude. We're in the middle of a time in our, you know, existence as humanity where there's more reason to be tense than there has been in a very long time. But that is not the story we want to tell ourselves. Taking a breath, really looking, you know, really looking. Look at the things around you. Instead of just seeing them, look at them. Like try and find detail in something arbitrary. You know, be it a pet, be it a blanket, be it a painting, be it a plant, be it whatever. Just look at it with the intention to find beauty, to find detail, to find complexity in that, to find yourself in that even. Take another breath. Listen. I was thinking today before stream, listening to the birds, that they are very symbiotic with stock, with animals that graze. Where if there is an area, you know, of grassland that doesn't have any animals, you know, grazing it and refertilizing that soil, there's no birds either. And then upon reintroducing, you know, wildlife or cattle or bison, you know, to an area, alongside the biodiversity of the soil increasing, the birds show up again. The birds show up again, you know, and there's so much relationship, webs of relationship everywhere. And I feel it's important for us to take that into consideration of, again, the story we tell ourselves about ourselves as well. Because it's very easy to reduce ourselves to something so small, something that is almost, you know, insignificant within this whole. And yet it's not. Take a breath. Smell if you can smell anything. Smell if you can smell anything. Look, see if you can smell anything. Hear if you can smell anything. I'm smelling grass, like an earthy note as well. Take a breath. Rub your hands against themselves. Make yourself aware that you are. Make yourself aware that you're sitting down, standing, walking. Make yourself aware that you're safe in this moment. Have a moment to breathe. Make yourself aware that you're grateful for this moment as well. We get so caught up. Either get caught up in the stories we tell ourselves, or we get caught up in the stories the world is telling us, sometimes even forcing down our throats. We get caught up in our pasts. We get caught up in what the future might hold. And yet this moment is all there ever is. Where you are right now is where you've been. You might move through space and time, but there you are, infinite. And it makes me so happy that this is something that we're trying to recognize it inside of ourselves. I feel more and more so in the world, but especially so in this space. We're allowing ourselves to see ourselves as infinite beings, actually infinite beings, not limited, not victimized. And I feel the more we tell ourselves these stories, the more we tell the world these stories, the more things we find we like to tell ourselves. You know, in this context of, a friend shared with me yesterday that she aspires to be like me. And my words directly to her was, the joke is, you are me. And I'm you. I to be here and you just happen to be there. As we show up in the space, as we tell these stories about who we want to be, about what we want to be, we find things that we resonate with. And then we melt these things apart of ourselves. And the more things we melt apart of ourselves, the less room there is for things that don't serve us anymore. And those things melt away from us. I cannot tell you, friends, how grateful I am just to see you grow. Every single one of you. That's the thing. Like, just think about that. From my perspective, having, like had this consistency with you, friends, I've seen every single one of you grow. You know what that that does to my brain? It's just, like a little circuit board straight up sparking with the amount of volts that's going through it. Whew! Okay. Sorry for spacing a little bit. Naomi said, I'm well, a little stressed about all of the things, but I hope to get done today. The scarf is beautiful, by the way. Thank you so much. Gift from TJ, of course. I have been working on the concept of intuitive eating to heal my relationship with food, and it's interesting trying to be aware of my thoughts and feelings about food in a non-judgmental way. That is beautiful, Naomi, and I'm guessing what you mean with intuitive eating is you're eating as your body is telling you to eat. Hey, Mariah. G to you as well, my friend. Indeed. Like what your body is telling you to eat. Like if you're craving something, and I want to bring this as an interpretation as well. Good morning to you. Thank you, Mariah. Sending you love. Thank you so much, love, my friend. Like when you're craving, for instance, chips. Let's say chips, or what do you call them in America? No, we call them chips in South Africa. Crisps? Do you call them crisps? Potato chips. Yeah, potato chips. That could be a craving for salt. So in intuitive eating, if you're craving something, ask yourself why it is you're craving it. What could be the underlying cause of that craving as well. And I found myself doing the same, Naomi. I feel I could do more as well. I feel I could eat more. And yet, with the intermittent fasting, I feel I don't need to. I probably ate like 1,300 calories today. At most 1,500. And I've been losing a lot of weight. And it's been such a journey, like a genuine journey of just asking my body what it needs. Because more often than not, we can eat so much more than we need. And it is so much comfort for so long in my life. Goodness. Oh, man. I'm remembering back to when I was, working for one of my uncles. I'm saying that, and it sounds like nepotism, but he was the one paying me $350 a month. So, sure, nepotism, but definitely not nepotism to an extreme, if you will. And $200 of that went to my apartment, and then the other $150 went to food. And I would, especially, close to the end of the month, I had no capacity to treat myself well. So exhausted and so ground to a paste that I just wanted to comfort myself. I just wanted to have something that would make me feel better, even if it was temporarily. And I could justify it. I could tell myself a story about it. But that is not who I want to be. Not because I think, that within itself is something that's wrong, but just because I want to be strong. I want to feel like I can lean on myself. It's the same reason I'm taking a break from weed again. And I've asked myself if I should take a break from coffee as well today. Strength is one of the things I'm telling myself that I want to be. I want to be strong. And that strength I feel bleeds over into so many aspects of my life. Breathing. Goodness, breathing has been such a big part of my life as of late as well. Heart rate variability is the time between your heartbeats. And if you focus on your breathing, really focus on your breathing, you can realize or just, manifest, if you will, heart rate variability within yourself. As you breathe in, your heartbeat speeds up so that it can extract oxygen from your lungs. As you breathe out, it kind of slows down again. And if you can ease into that, heart rate kind of fluctuating back and forth, you literally, I'm not even joking, you literally build willpower. Like we've done studies on this. Heart rate variability is directly related to willpower. Where we did this study is in alcoholics, where we had a group of individuals who were likely to relapse and have a history of relapse with alcohol. And we have a group of people who have been alcoholics and have been completely sober for 5, I think, plus years. So weren't likely to relapse. And they put them into, a controlled environment. They hooked them up to a monitoring machinery, equipment, and they put a beer in front of those people. And the ones that were most likely to relapse had a significant drop in ability, as in their heartbeats became more consistent, doof, 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 doof. Wherein the group that wasn't likely to relapse, their heart variability increased, doof, 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 doof. And that is literally on a very visceral level, your body being like, that is not me. That is not who I want to be. And willpower is something that's a finite resource. It's something that runs out the more you use it. And yet, if you use it in the right way, it can give you more. It's so weird. I feel like I'm diving so deep into this feeling today. I hope your friends are here with me. It's funny because chips have been a for me that I'm trying to reintroduce. Chips have been a big problem for me as well, Naomi, and it's something that I've completely cut out of my life. I'll allow myself a pack of chips maybe once a month at most, but it's something that I could not stop. I can, and I think that's one of the biggest things that concerns me is I don't do anything lightly. Nothing. I don't have any freaking chill whatsoever. So everything has to be done in an extreme. So if I'm eating chips, I'm not just eating one bag. I'm just like eating three of them. And then with the 3 bags of chips, I'm drinking 2 glasses of milk. And with the 2 glasses of milk, eating 3 chocolate bars. And I feel it's like this instant, oh, I guess I'm not myself right now, so I might as well not be myself right now. And then I throw myself so deep into that space, and then I feel horrible. And then that horrible feeling I use almost as a way to educate myself, of like, you don't want to do that. That's not what you want to do. And then it helps. It helps, but it's so weird to me that we go through like patterns like that. The general idea is being aware of your body, fullness, and hunger signals. I realized I don't have a good concept of my hunger levels, taking the time to assess my needs. Have you considered fast, Naomi? I'm really yourself to eat to fulfill other needs like cravings, but with an awareness of why you are doing it. As humans, we do also eat for flavor and emotional reasons, and to not judge myself. I agree completely with that, Naomi. Completely, completely. Mm, food. It's a part of our lives. That's a big thing as well. It's such a big part of our lives. And it's crazy to me just how much it influences the rest of our lives as well. It bleeds out over into everything else, into your health, into your mental state, into your perception of self. I believe into your mind's functioning as well, into your energy levels. I feel the thing that bothers me the most, Naomi, is that we're like it's too easy to access extremely highly refined foods, refined or processed, you know. And one of the stories I've been telling myself that I want to be is someone that eats whole foods, food that has that and for resonating with me on that willpower level, Kevo. Good thing you're sitting in the sun, sipping your, giving advice of innocence, fighting for their lives and country. Yes, Tittleman Crest, you're completely right, my friend. I'm not winning, but I believe there is more than enough access to information. What are you doing, friend? If you think what I'm doing is wrong, what are you doing that's right? I'm not asking because I want an answer from you. I'm asking because I want you to answer yourself. There we go. Yes, exactly what you mentioned about the chips. It's about all working on with them. I definitely would go all out with them and let it all spiral out of control until I felt so gross. Same, same, same. It still happens. Now I just try at least to focus on my body when that happens, and I remind myself how awful that truly feels when I eat to this point. It does not bring joy or satisfaction anymore. Exactly, Naomi. And I feel it's from that point, that feeling of this thing I'm doing is not benefiting me. It's not something that I'm enjoying. It's not something that I feel is valuable, not something that I want to continue with. And it hurts me that we have to hurt ourselves to get to that point sometimes. Instead of just understanding it intuitively, we have to beat it into ourselves violently. Being a human being is difficult. But it's also easy once you get the hand of it. The thing is, it slips from your hand occasionally, dude. As you get your hands on it, it slips, and you get your hands on it again, and then it slips away. Get your hands on it. Back and forth, back and forth. Goodness. Also, once. Because to be yourself is the most natural thing. And on that, you're right. On that, you are right. What I'm thinking now in the context of that, Kevo, is how we change and how the story we tell ourselves changes and how the being we want to be changes as well as we gain more information, as we grow. So the authentic being of the self is something that's always ever evolving. And alongside the ever evolving nature of that, here comes some wind. Alongside the ever evolving nature of that, we stop doing certain things and start doing other things. And it can sometimes feel like we're not ourselves anymore because we started doing certain things and stopped doing other things. I feel, and I'm not trying to give advice on top of that, just to reference our previous friend. I'm not trying to give advice. I'm trying to talk about these things from an open perspective. If I'm giving advice to anyone, in these streams. I'm giving advice to me, dude. I'm being like, look at this. Look at this. How about this information? And I'm like, yeah, shit. That is some valuable information you're sharing with me, Mel. Yeah. How about you listen to your own advice? Hello, hi bro. Sup? Hey, Chili777. It's nice to have you here, friend. What are you doing for those fighting for their lives, friend? Thank you for asking the same question, Cable. We're in tune, man. Tip. Somewhere in the world, there is always someone who is innocent fighting for their life. The stream is positivity, not for negativity. Seriously, thank you, sir. Suddenly, the earth is alive. You're gonna bump my shit, yo. Are you stinking again? Like Pippi has been getting into something stinky as of late, and I literally bathed her today to get the stink off her. And now she stanks again of whatever she stanks of. Huh? Stinky Dodge? Stinky, stinky. Wash. That's life. We have to ride the waves. We do. Okay, title. That's the only thing we can do. You know, and I feel if anything, life is a lesson in learning how to ride those waves, you know? If life is an infinite ocean throwing us with waves, learn how to surf. Learn how to surf, right? I don't have to if I don't want to Russian sympathizer. Okay. I'm sorry, friend. You know, I didn't want to. Hmm. So I have a remove a spam, a ban, a block account. You know what? I've never used the ban hammer. I've never used the ban hammer up until this point. This freaking finger is so powerful. Boom! Bosh! Oh goodness. I don't think I can ban hammer him while I'm streaming. I hope it didn't drop. For now, you will not get ban hammered, friend. But you'll have to sit down. Sit down and breathe with us, please. Friend, you should have been there 2 days ago when we dedicated an entire stream to what's happening and send love that way. All we can do is control ourselves and the love we give. Thank you, Ninja Peach, for letting our friend know. Must have missed the part where advice was given. I'd sincerely love to hear about you're doing this set and this is thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that all of you friends were in exactly the same mindset, you know, perfectly synchronized with what I was gonna ask as well. Because it's one thing to be like, oh, you're doing something wrong. But then if you turn that lens around and be like, oh, I'm doing something wrong, that must mean that you're doing something right. Yeah. You know, try and take out the stick. I think it's a stick. No, bulk. In Afrikaans it's bulk, which basically means it's like a supporting beam. A beam. Is it beam? Take the beam out of your own eye before you try and take a splinter of mine, friend. I wish I could do more for Ukraine. You know, and I believe on the actual, I don't know if it's on this one as well, but there is on Reddit, you know, a bunch of resources where you can donate directly to charities that are supporting Ukraine right now. So if you have the means to help, please do. Please do. So that's what we can do right now, my friend. Other than that, there's not much I can do. Expect him to do leave essay and fight. Yeah, the thing is, even if I wanted to do that, I can't even. You know, I'm not even. There's not even a opportunity. There's no possibility that that is something that I could do. Dialogues anymore, fiddling around our time. Yeah, it's more stirring of separation. You know, because now, oh, and he succeeded. Technically, he succeeded because now there's this sense of, yeah, I am this, and you are that. And even though he was the one who made that statement, we're kind of encouraging it. We're believing it. We're like, yeah, this person is this. He just said he's that. Why is he this? Why can't he just be that? It goes back and forth. Northern Lolo, thank you for joining us, my friend. There is no greater believer of the truth than an open, unbiased. That is right, brother Bear. Just found out how to close Nice. The more we know. Thank you for joining us, Guang. I don't think I've seen you before. Lily Guang. Cool username, friend. Saturday. Balance is bliss, eh? Balance is bliss. There's two butterflies above me. Let me show you. Let me show you. Can you see them? Look at them. As soon as I looked up to see the wind, I see butterflies. I'm surprised that they can manage in this wind. They're there now. Look at those three little butterflies. So freaking beautiful. Ooh, look at those clouds. Oh goodness! So bright. It's kind of burning my eyes staring at it, but I cannot look away. Oh. Uh, Little man, love to you and appreciate how you're thinking about others. I'm hoping some of the positivity here might be paid forward again, and we might not start the next war. Actually, I hope that you don't leave and see what you think. You see, there we go, brother Ryan. Thank you. Thank you for not allowing that separation, my friend. Thank you for being so wonderful. Right? Thank you so much for being so wonderful, brother Ryan. Are you saying don't eat sweets? I'm specifically not saying don't eat sweets. I'm trying to use it as a point, and it's an arbitrary point. I think you can substitute sweets for pretty much anything that you're doing in your life that you feel is not serving you. You can ask yourself, oh, I like doing this thing, but I know if I do this thing, then there's all these consequences, and I feel this way about it afterwards, and na 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 na. So, do I want to be doing thing? Do I believe? Do I want to be telling the rest of the world I'm doing thing? Do I want to be telling my loved ones I'm doing thing? Do I want to be telling myself I'm doing thing? That is what I'm trying to bring to you, friend. I'm not trying to tell you anything. Just trying to ask you to ask yourself. I just love your presence so much, Ryan. Thank you so much for sharing that love back, my friends. I think the process of finding yourself also leads to some places you would not think of going to. In fact, for me, the process involves a lot of shadow work. So many people are unwilling to do that shadow work as well. And I'm grateful for that a lot. Oneself comes in all forms. Being willing to recognize that you are both angel and devil. You know, like all the potential evil of humanity is within you as well. The potential for war is within you as well. And me and my brother had a conversation about this. My brother is 17, 18 right 18 right now. So is he? Yeah, he's 18 right now. And he is a little bit more boisterous at the moment. So he was talking about, war and about the women, making napalm bombs to throw on the tanks so that they turn the tanks into cooking ovens so that the people that are in there cannot stay in there. And I was like, yeah, I guess, I guess that is happening. And he was like, I would love to use a javelin, he says to me. And my words to him back was, I hope we never have to. And upon saying that, I saw him realizing as well, what it is he's saying. Because it's not so much about wanting to use a javelin, but the context in which you would use the javelin. A javelin is this smart rocket system that can lock onto something and then poof, shoots a missile at them, making the other thing go boom. But it's nice to maybe make something, inanimate go boom. But if you're making yourself on the other side go boom, that's a lot of yikes. Just a little bit of yikes. And that's not the story I want to be telling. And I didn't mention that to him, that was me today's topic, but I do not want to tell myself a story. I don't want to be someone who kills others. Never. I would if I had to defend my family, if I had to defend, the ones I love. But it's never something that I want to be telling myself. You know, Never something I want to look forward to. Never something I want to seek an opportunity for. And that's something that really breaks my heart about some people here in South Africa. Like we're we're a very gun friendly, if you will, country. Everybody has a firearm. Everybody has firearms, especially on farms. Everybody has firearms. And there's some individuals who have this almost want. And I'm thinking of an individual very specifically, one of my brother's friends, who will say stuff like, I want someone to give me a reason. Do you want to tell yourself that story, dude? You know what the context of that story is. Someone is attacking you, one is threatening your life, and then you want to defend your life by taking theirs. How is that ever a story you want to be, a character in? Why would you want to be participating in that story? I would rather live the story of never having to do that in my life, never having to kill another individual ever, never having to, defend myself against an attack. Sorry for the wind noise. Obligatory. Sorry for the wind noise. If it was last year this time, I would have profusely apologized like 50 times by now. But today only once. That's actually more. Thank you for caring so much about this sacred space. Thank you, Brother Bay, for caring the same amount. Spread spores. Yeah, I agree. Spread spores. That's all I'm gonna say. No more, no less. Diamond Fingers! Man, it's like been 28 minutes since you sent your message, my friend. I'm sorry. I hope you're still here. Sending you Diamond Finger love, my friend. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate what you did there, despite appearing a futile endeavor. It might be a futile endeavor, but as soon as you accept it to be a futile endeavor, separation happens. So if you don't accept that, you hold on to that possibility that love might still, prevail at the end of it. We're staying united. The circle of life, Melty, food chains and the symbolic relationships all animals and plants share. Something many have forgotten. Something you could argue was constructed to be forgotten, even, Sarvinia. And that sounds a little bit, tinfoil hatty. But the food industry, at least the primary food producers when it comes to processed foods, there's 6 companies. 6 companies are producing 90% of the world's food. And we're moving into an age where food is almost going to be treated like IP. It's already kind of treated like IP, with restaurants, big chains, big franchises having these in-house recipes. That is intellectual property. And they're pushing that further and further and further. And the big thing that is showing to me is this trying to, if you will, monopolize, our food system. And not only trying to monopolize it, but trying to separate us so much from the foods we eat. Growing up, the foods I put into my body, I never knew where it came from. Never. Most of us still don't know where our foods are coming from. Not really. Like, I'm buying it from the supermarket. What do you mean, Bill? It grows in the ground somewhere first. But we don't know where that is. We don't know who the people are who is, working with our food. And I envision a future where we'll, I envision the future for us, but I don't know if that's going to be the future of the world. I envision a future where we can actually have, gardens again, where we have people that love gardening and want to provide food, genuinely holistic food, to their loved ones. Because it's so easy to forget that we have this relationship, as you're saying, the circle of life. Try a story and joining me, friend. It's so nice to have you here. There's so much air in my mouth. I realized lately that I rely on the presence of others too much to bring me joy, even if those people are negative. I thrive on caring for others. This is a message I needed to hear. I need to try to find peace in peaceful moments in solitude. Ninja Beach, thank you for sharing that with us. That what you just did is you putting out into the universe, this is what I want to be. I want to be someone who is at peace in peaceful moments in solitude. And the fact that you were willing to think that, you were willing to say that, not only to yourself but to us as well, makes the next step of actually doing it all that easier. So thank you. Thank you so much. I see and recognize you for the love you share. Ninja Peach, Kelly, I totally feel the same way. Thank you for joining us, Kelly. Sorry for, not addressing and saying thank you, specifically. I'm so lucky to know you all now. Ryan, as we are lucky to know you as well, Brother Bear. My toxic trait is constantly wanting to fix and help everyone and everything, never trying to fix, help myself. I wonder, and I feel such resonance with what you're saying as well, Ninja Peach. I wonder if it's because we convince ourselves that we have less to be fixed or to be helped than others. Maybe that's why we justify it. We're like, oh, I'm doing kind of okay. You know, I can be put on the back burner. I need to be here and helping this person first before I allow myself to help myself. Thank you for remembering me when you mentioned gardening and growing food. I have some seeds for pepper plants that need to be planted soon. Pepper? Like, is it like the bell peppers or like actual pepper kernels, Naomi? And thank you for sharing that with me, friend. So, morning, all friends here. So much love. Kira Burp, it's so nice to have you. We're all different versions of the same person. All I am is the I that we are. You know, when you say I am and enter name here, I am Meltmore, I am Katie, I am Ryan, I am Jovan, I am Toasty. It starts from the same I, the same I, the same internal I, the same witnesser, observer, awareness of I, peering into this universe. And that perspective, that position, almost superposition, is exactly the same for all of us, I believe. We call them chips, lol. Thank you, Kmar. No. UK calls them crisps. There we go, Servinia. Thank you. A sub about positivity. What about threatening messages I got from some of you? Real positive. Threatening? We asked you to leave, friend. Do you know what a threat is? We're like, if you don't, something. There was no threats. For real positive, especially Servia, for a particularly aggressive, threatening DM class acts. Okay, little man. I'll just be here with you at this moment, friend. This is huge and took me years. I was in a relationship from 16 to 33, and being alone hurt me. Not having anyone to cook for, care for, they were the darkest days of my life because my worth was placed outside of myself. Now, solitude is my savior. Kelly, that makes me so happy to hear. Not only does it make me happy to hear to know that you have grown from that place of feeling like solitude was something that was hurting you, but also that it's possible for us to grow from a place where it hurts us to be in solitude to a place where it can be, in your words, a savior for us. What a contrast. And how much of that was the story you were telling yourself about yourself as well? Thank you for shifting that story into one where you are actually enjoying being yourself, my friend. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. Like bell peppers, okay. My sister-in-law gave them to me. I believe she said they are heirloom peppers. I think they are small, mild peppers. I just want to grow something I can eat, and you'll love it. Naomi, guaranteed. Being able to, watch the thing that you've planted in the ground, start from this little plant, eat up sunlight, and you water it consistently, actively putting love into this entity, and then this entity grows these little flowers. Those flowers get pollinated, and then from that pollinated little flower, something literally fractals into this universe built out of sunlight and water and micronutrients, and then you can pick that thing and you can cut it up and you can eat it. It's so cool. It's so freaking cool. Alexandre! Man, I've missed you, friend. How are you doing, you beautiful person? Also, great timing, as right now I am watering all my houseplants. My orchid is nearly blooming. The first flower should open today or tomorrow. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Is the spike, that you were mentioning last time, is it actually blooming now, finally? And it's I still remember, the plant that your mom gave you that was a little bit sickly. And Naomi actually nurtured it back to life. And now it's going to give her a flower. All of that love, it's the same thing. All of that love that you've been putting into that entity is now rewarding you with this fractaling, flower. It's literally putting itself into this universe. Like, this is me. This is who I am. And you helped that. You helped to tell that story, Naomi. If you didn't help it tell that story, if you didn't encourage it to tell its story, it wouldn't have been able to. And I feel it's the same thing for us as well. I feel you friends are enabling me to tell my story in the same way that I want to enable you friends to tell yours. This is something that is going to be influencing us our entire existences. Even if you never come back to this space will influence our entire existences, as everything always influences our entire existence. So with that in mind, let's try and influence, it for the positive, for the better. Busy times. I miss you too. No apologies necessary, Alexandra. In fact, don't you dare apologize. Don't you dare. You're loved, Fred. Sorry for the. I feel like it's disco, disco stream today. The wind is making the camera dance a little bit. Telling you to grow up is threatening. So threatening. Goodness, what's gonna happen if he grows up, Slovenia? He probably will have to, be a grown-up. Probably will have to take other people into consideration. Will probably have to be respectful of others' feelings and, their worldviews. That is a big threat to someone who is unwilling to let go of their fragile ego. People just care about the space and each other. So natural reaction. It's true, Ryan. Like people, like we've been, cultivating a safe space for all of us. A space in which we can love one another. A space in which we can feel comfortable with telling each other who we are. Even if who we are in this moment is someone that is sad. Even if who we are in this moment is someone who's angry, frustrated, absolutely devastated. We're comfortable with telling each other things here, friend. And if someone comes into the space and is like, how dare you tell the world who you are? Then of course we're gonna be like, hey, the fuck think you're doing? Thank you though, friend. Yes, it's the same orchid that was passed down from my grandmother to my mother and now to me. It's bloomed a single bloom once before, but this time around it has 3 flower buds. That sounds amazing, Naomi. You must be so excited. I just smoked a joint and I'm chilling in bed. Alexandre, send me the 420 frequency vibes, dude. I'll live vicariously through you. I'm on day 3 of not smoking marijuana. So, please smoke for me, dude. I don't know if this is true in just the case, but often it's because we lack value for ourselves and don't feel we're deserving of love. We try to prove we're worthy of love by doing things to help and fix others. That's a beautiful point. What a beautiful point that is. Punk Rock Lobster, and thank you for joining us, my friend. Trying to fix and help others in order to believe that we're worthy of being fixed or being helped as well, being loved. Maybe a part of ourselves, got biased, got conditioned into this understanding that we're only valued when we're helping others, we're only loved when we're helping others. And I feel, parents unfortunately do that. If your parents tell you to do something and you don't do it, then, in my house, I just got beaten. In some houses you get shunned, some houses you get scalded, and some houses you get your stuff taken away from you. So it gets so ingrained in us that if you don't do things for others, then you're not loved, then you're not appreciated, then you're doing something wrong. And it's something we have to unlearn. We have to reference that inner child. Thinking about Katie and the message she shared with us, we have to take care of that inner child. This is not a space of stranger. We all have shared this space, and it's one that is special to each of us. The door is open to you, but I do not believe anyone here would threaten another. Be real or be God. No, a natural reaction is not to threaten people immediately. You weren't threatened, my friend. Let me explain to you what a threat would sound like. Tittleman, if you don't stop with your nonsense, we're going to find you. We're going to strap you down, and we're going to tickle your feet until you cannot handle it anymore, until you're begging for mercy. And we're going to be like, no, Tittleman, we're going to keep tickling your feet. Bitch. because you asked for it. We warned you. We threatened you, and you didn't want to listen. So now we're gonna have to tickle your feet into infinitum. That would be a threat, friend. None of us were threatening you. No. I think there is a grain of truth here. It also just hurts me to see others sad. I have to fix everyone and make them happy. I just want the world to be happy. That's the why. Ninja Peach. And, I think just reminding ourselves that the world, and this can sound a little bit pompous or self-centered, but the world does start with you. It's this side of the infinity going out to that side of the infinity. So if you're not willing to take care of yourself, then the world won't be happy either. My great grandfather was Russian and my great grandmother was Ukrainian. I'm so sad they're fighting. It pains my heart. That's the thing, Alexandre. There's so many people who have family members. Ukrainians having family members in Russia, Russians having family members in Ukraine. And there was like a whole documentary done where a person walks through the streets of Russia interviewing people, asking them, would you go to war against, the Ukraine if the government told you to? Most of them said no. Some of them said, I won't have a choice. Most of them said no. And one of the biggest reasons for them saying no is, I know those people. They're our people. They're people. I have family there. I have brothers and sisters there. I have, grandparents there. And that's the case everywhere. Everywhere. Everywhere there's parents. Everywhere there's grandparents. Everywhere there's daughters and sons, fathers and mothers, everywhere. There's no separation. There's no separation. It's such bullshit, dude. It's such bullshit. I agree, and I feel quite the same. Of course, you believe this. No one here could be crappy. My tittle man, right now, friend. I appreciate you for giving us an example of what crappy could look like. Yeah. Aggressively hugging the world. Be happy to. Maybe if I squeeze the world hard enough, it will start being happy. The community means a lot to us. When you come in commenting, as you initially did, it shows a lack of respect for other humans. There we go. With how upsetting the world is right now, we need a space to continue to be ourselves in, together in this space. We need the space to continue to be ourselves and together in this space. I agree completely, Kira Burp. There's so much turmoil in the world already, friend, that we don't want even more turmoil in a space like this, right? This is what we're about. I tried to and I could have bad hammered you, but I didn't, and I'm happy I didn't, kind of. Stay and see yourself inside out. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you, Shell. We love you so much, my friend. Thank you for joining us. I saw my insides out last night, Shell. It wasn't pleasant, but I will try the spiritual version rather than the version. Oh goodness, Kira. Oh, that's Servinia. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. I guess, that's the nature of Saturday night sometimes. No one here is out to get you. The hostility you're showing is truly unnecessary. Yeah, I feel that as well. But that's the point, That's what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's just the other side of that infinity. Kira Burp. I basically intermittent fast, but it's more out of neglect for myself than anything else. Trying to eat more healthy. Need the strength to accomplish it. Weird, wearing so many things. Hearing so many things I needed to today. Thanks, Mel. Thank you, Punk Rock Lobster. You haven't been here in a while, and then you come into this space, and then you receive all of these messages. So I feel like you were exactly where you were supposed to be in this moment, and I appreciate you so much for having this experience. When you put out negativity, you'll likely be met with the same. And for positivity, friend. Sit, stay a while. It's lovely here. We hope you do, friend. It's okay for people like Servinia to send me again threatening, where no one else could see, telling me I better remove myself from here. Tittleman, we can remove you from here, friend. It's very easy, in fact. I have a very powerful finger, but we're letting you stay because we want you to change your perspective from this feeling of hostility and abrasiveness and throwing shit, if you will, to one where you're sitting down, putting the shit in the ground, You know, putting a seed in that shit, watering the ground shit, seeing a beautiful flower grow out of the shit. You know, that's what we're encouraging instead of just oh, oh, sis. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm being too visceral. Early human, your words are important and threatened. You are not. What brought you here? What are you getting from staying? Can't speak for everyone, but I would love to believe you could leave here feeling better than you arrived if you're open to it. I agree completely. And I feel it's still the case, Kelly, you know, regardless. Hopefully he's not like keeping his ears and typing with his pinkies or something. Good morning to you, Isaac. Thank you for joining us for the bay. I'm like 30 minutes behind, so I'm sorry. What can I say? I wasn't threatened. Did you get the DM I did? My friend, even if you were threatened, you know, are you scared? Are you fearing for your life right now? Why is it something that bothers you? You know, like receiving a threat online, I guess it could be disturbing. But if you're realistic, if you're an intelligent human being, you understand the nature of that. On top of being one of the most anonymous, or at least allows you to be one of the most anonymous social media platforms there are. Firstly, I said to you, see yourself out here at first. Secondly, my DM wasn't threatening. If you feel it was, you should report it. Like I reported your comment. There we go. Looks a little windy out today. It's just a smidget of windy. And I feel it's very fitting of today's topic as well. It's a little bit, can shake us off a little bit if you will. So the wind is doing the same. But the real question, did you get the string of the goose food? I didn't, Ninja Peach. I've tried to chase it down again, but they're so fast and they start flying when I get too close. Like they run and then they gain speed with running and then they start flapping their wings. And then I'm like, oh, guess I'm not catching it. Maybe I can catch it out of the sky. Maybe pull it down, get the strings off. I'll have to check if the strings are off actually. I haven't seen them today again. I mean, I did, but I didn't pay attention. Thank you for the hugs. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, my friend. You said here in your DM was significantly longer than just see yourself out. And what the point of reporting? It does nothing. You know, and I'd like for the world to recognize the resilient people of Ukraine. Who isn't? Huh? Tittleman? Who do you think you are, Fred? Do you honestly believe that all of us are like, oh yeah, yeah, Ukraine, and then we're like, oh, you know, yeah, do you really think that? Like, who have you met? Who, like, one person that you've met that was like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I think Ukraine should get taken. Like, are you? No. Who do I want to be? A loving, kind, forgiving, compassionate person. So that's who I'm going to continue to be. Thank you for challenging me, friend. Ooh, what is that word? Wintergy. I don't know what that means, Aiden. The wind seems to be getting worse. Melt, you need a crew, someone to hold the camera straight and hold your hair. Yeah, just like pay two people a full salary. You hold my hair, thank you. You don't move. You don't move for the whole 2 hours that we're streaming. You just hold hair, and you hold camera. I wouldn't be able to. A part of me, you know, like I remember playing Mass Effect, and in Mass Effect there was this reporter, and she had this like floating around droid camera, and a part of me really likes that idea. I would rather have that. My God, I'm really starting to lose my patience and empathy. Scary thing to me. But today, I just want our safe, loving space, and I feel the same way, Kira Verb. I feel the same way, and the fact that you are feeling that, the fact that you are scared, with that lack of patience, with that lack of empathy for other people, is just you reminding yourself that that is not who you want to be, and that's why it scares you, because you know that is not who you are. The wind cries, Melty. The wind cries indeed. 8-Way, thank you for joining us. Red Clicker, thank you for joining us as well, my friend. It's so nice to have you. Diddleman says, in no way you're losing patience and empathy, but you didn't threaten me. Funny, you're talking to the wrong person. Afternoon Red, no, always remains true. All I want to be is exactly what the world needs me to be. And it's beautiful to me that you say that, Isaac. I was having a conversation with Scorpio. He's also a streamer here on Reddit. Beautiful man. And one of the things that we were talking about is being our best selves. And the words that I used is we have every single one of us has to be our best selves for the world. I feel like I said it more eloquently the first time, but that's the gist of it. We have to be our best selves for this world. And if every single one of us allows ourselves to do that, just think about the exponential improvements we'll see. Mother Nature has a message from Mount. Listen, the weather seems so fierce. It does, and yet I don't know why. Like the clouds are kind of getting ready to rain, but there's no like thick dark clouds around. I smell something floral. I feel the wind is bringing some good smells with it. Thank you for this. You haven't seen my username before because I do not stumble upon you before. Love what you are doing. Guang, thank you, friend. Like, I'm just being your mirror. Man, that smells good. I don't know what that is, but it smells so good. I'm sorry for getting distracted. I love you, friend. I don't know where it's coming from because it smells kind of artificial. But it smells good, nonetheless. What is the best way to deal with negative and depressive thoughts? Bring the opposite, Alexandre. If we are infinite beings and we have the ability to, well, the, the likelihood to loop, if you think a negative thought, just bring the opposite of it. Oh, I am angry about what's happening in Ukraine right now. Potential negative thought. But I am happy that people are rising up against what's happening in Ukraine right now. So even though I allowed myself to think, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm not allowed or I'm not worthy of that thought, I've allowed myself to think, thoughts of anger, thoughts of disgust, thoughts of sadness, by referencing the other side of it, by reminding myself that there is yet beauty, there is yet love, there is yet compassion and empathy being shared among human beings. It makes me feel more balanced. And that's how I've been trying to help myself. How do you feel about that, Alexandre? It's hard sometimes. All we can do is listen closely. So right, Isaac. Sorry, I shouldn't have fed the attention seeker. Oh, me and you both. Kira Burr, Bosavinia, me and you both. So glad you landed here. Take a load off. Genuinely, we would love you too, friend. Negative can be turned around. Don't feel bad for trying. Thank you, Red Liquor. Thank you, for trying as well, friend. We are all terrified for the people in Ukraine. We are all heartbroken and worried. Some of us have not slept yet from watching the news and worrying. Some of us have donated. Some of us have family there. We must find peace here. And not only here in this stream, but in this moment. Because there is so much to be anxious about. So much. Like, the thing is as well, alongside with this Ukraine tension, and I think maybe you don't take that into consideration, friend. And I'm sorry for bringing this up into the stream, but I'll say that and then we'll move past it. We're not only holding Ukraine in our hearts and minds, but there's also the potential of nuclear war, where everything dies. And that is something that we can perpetuate and think about over and over and over and over and over again. And if we can do that, then we can tell ourselves that story, but we don't want to. That's why we're here. To not tell ourselves that story. To change it. Well, they're Molotov cocktails made with gas. They don't do much damage to tanks. I mean, they don't have to. They just have to add heat, I believe. Wait. Being human is hard AF. We see, love, and appreciate you, especially on the days you aren't feeling like your best self. I know I should try and have more patience for those things too, but patience hasn't been a strong point of mine. If there has never been a strong point of mine. Kelly, I feel that as well. Patience has been the lesson I've been learning over and over and over and over and over again. And every single time I believe, okay, now I've gained a new level of patience. Then life is like, oh wait, about this? And then I'm like, and you can think of it in the same context of what's happening right now as well. Famous Jester is joining us saying, I am rapping all day while Amy Lee 403. I remember the last time you came in and said that. I still don't know what it means though. I wish you a long and happy life, but I have to block you now. Perhaps you should think about how your interactions here reflect upon you, as well as how they reflect on others, how they affect others. It's unfortunately very selfish, and it's selfish from a point where you can feel tension, you can feel anxiety, you can feel hatred for this world. And then because you're telling yourself that story, and the story we tell ourselves, our ego, wanting to be justified, wanting to be validated, we go out and we tell that story to the rest of the world as well. Do you want the rest of the world to feel the way you do? If you're feeling negatively about the rest of the world, do you want, if I'm thinking, I hate being alive and I hate this world and I hate people, do you really want other people to think that as well? Really, really. Like some of us, especially in that state of mind, do sometimes. Like how dare other people be happy? But damn it, why do we do that? Why would you do that? Why would you participate in an energy like that if it's something that has been hurting you so much? How could we hurt others as well in the same way? Molotovs can burn, oh goodness, engine intake, and you melt rubber belts and such. There we go. Aiden knows. I never want anyone to test me like that, but I agree, friend. Thank you. I stand with Ukraine, Ukraine map, Ukraine support, no war idea by Hey Tom. Thank you for tagging that friend. I appreciate you sharing information. Doing an amazing job. There's so many of those make my day people out there. Some people just love chaos and conflict. Of course they do. Because they feel chaos and conflict within themselves. So seeing it in the outside world gives them a sense of certainty that, oh yeah, chaos and conflict is in fact true. But if you seek love instead, you'll find love is the real truth, and all the rest of it is just illusion. All of it is just now the scenario that you've created in which you pretend to be separate, and then that pretending to be separate creates conflict because you're not. You're not separate. You're a part of the human organism. Well, the humanity organism, maybe would be a better way to say it. The thoughts of killing others make me sick to my stomach. I can see so many soldiers have PTSD. I pray we never come to that. I'd be a terrible soldier. I picture hippies placing flowers and rifles. No freaking way, Ninja Peach. No, no, stop it. As I was reading your message, I was thinking the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Hell no. I'll rather die. I would rather die. They would literally have to kill me and drag my dead body to the front of the war. No way. No freaking way. No war. No stories, friend. There we go. Love being shared. I grew up in an area where households having upwards of 3 rifles is very normal. It's a scary thought how normal it is. I'm down to have the argument of self-defense, but personally I don't think anyone is prepared to take a life. Some people convince themselves they are, and then upon doing it they have to live with that consequences. They tell themselves the story about who they are, and then upon realizing that story they're like, oh goodness, this is not who I want to be. And after having done something as significant as that, it's never something that you can undo, unfortunately. You can be comfortable being a president. This is great. Thank you. Thank you, friend. Thank you for listening and to taking it to your heart. You can be comfortable being a president who decided to go to war and cause so many deaths. How does Putin sleep at night? I feel, from like this is definitely a naive perspective, uninformed, but power is something that is never something you can have enough of, unfortunately. Like having power just means that there is more things to be taken away from you. So you want more, so that if people take things away from you, you had more to have taken away. So I want more. So he's justifying it. He's justifying it from this perspective of, wealth certainty for the country that is Russia. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time, dude. He'll get what's coming to him. Let's just say it that way. I produce as much food on my property as I can. That's amazing, 8 weight. I'm sorry. I'm happy to hear that. Not sorry to hear it. We all lose the moment the trigger is pulled. Yep, exactly, Isaac. Exactly that. Few. Thank goodness for you humans. Genuinely, genuinely. Thank goodness for all of you. Thank you for tagging Haywire Hill, Red Clicker. Burbot, is Burbot here? Where's Jovan? Burbot, I see and hear you and love you so much. You weren't being mean. Your instincts are good. Thank you, friend. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe Burbot deleted his message or something. I'm growing, so like a part of me wants to reference the Trailer Park Boys, and a part of me is worried that people won't get the reference. So I'll say the first Trailer Park reference first. Jalapenos and tomatoes this year, and I'm very excited. I'm going to build a greenhouse too. Aiden, you're gonna love it, friend. Thank you for sharing that with me. Jalapenos. Okay, done. Bye. So proud you turned that loving ray of goodness back on yourself. My heart is full hearing you've grown through that transition. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see it. It's wonderful to know that it's possible for us as well, Isaac. My mom and aunt have a green thumb. I, however, oh, sorry. I, however, have seemed to skip the generation. Just like, yes, touches ground. And some stuff starts sprouting. Maybe you're just supposed to do something else, Servinia. Like, that wasn't, the the role you had to play. So instead of thinking that you're lacking something, maybe you gain something that they don't have. Continue these videos. You are so great. I'm glad I found your channel. Alexandre, I'm happy you found us as well, my friend. You're loved. You're loved. And it's so difficult for us to find that sometimes in this world. To know that someone cares about us, to feel recognized, to feel seen. We're closer than we've ever been. Both geologically and with the internet at large, allowing us to communicate pretty much instantly, telepathically even. And yet there's so much separation happening. So the fact that we have the space, that we have a moment to remind ourselves separate, that we are going through the same things, that we're thinking the same things, that we're trying to process this experience of life together, that we're trying to tell ourselves a story about ourselves, and we're trying to live towards that story actively. It's something that I found so much value in, and you friends have been the thing that's the most valuable. Your perspective, your love. Thank you, Brother Bear. Thank you for you, genuinely. Burfam. Been mostly loving, feeling lovingly silent today. Jovan, no matter what you do, you are so loved. Burfam. I'm excited. Jasmine and I started a saltwater tank last night. I don't know what that is. Can't wait to breed a good little ecosystem to be the god of. A salt tank? A saltwater tank? Like like salt water from the sea, and then you grow like sea organisms in it. I'm like so curious, Isaac. Thank you for the positivity, Isaac. Every time I read your comments, I just get the little fractal of love that you've created. Same, dude. Same. It's so beautiful to see it in you as well, Aiden. I'm excited for you. Bet those dinners are going to be delicious as well. Oh, absolutely. Resonating. It reminds me, I've been really wanting to start a closed ecosystem terrarium. Apparently, they can just go forever if you set them up right, right? And you can like literally have this little, almost like planet, self-encapsulated little planet that you can witness. In the words of Isaac, be the god of. You could have that perspective. Those kinds of things are so exciting. I'd love to pull that off. Hoping to get some coral. Okay, so it is like a tank, if you will. Indeed, I remember watching The Long Way Around, and on the border, Ewan, Ivan McGregor gets invited to some guy's house, and they couldn't pass that night. While his wife prepared dinner, his friends came over, and then he walked down the stairs with the guitar and an AK-47. They were all joking about it, even did some target practice, but it was totally surreal to me and Ewan. Goodness. What? I'm guessing it's a movie, The Long Way Around. That sounds trippy. That sounds crazy, actually. I'd implore you to take a look at my comment history. I normally try to be nice and spread positivity, with the exception of sports subs, and apologize when I upset people. But you guys are something negative here. We are something. Ooh, whoa! I just had a shot of deja vu. You know what? I'm willing to think about that. Are we negative? Maybe we're adverse to negativity, and that aversion to negativity can be seen as negativity in and of itself. But at the end of the day, that is your perspective, right? And you're creating that reality in your head. We are adverse to negativity because we believe love is true. And holding that truth means that something opposed to that truth is something we're going to deny, something we're going to shoot down, if you will. So, you have to realize that you're the one creating this world for yourself, friend. Three flower buds, three generations. What a beautiful notice that is, actually. I don't know if you're still here, Naomi, but Isaac is almost thinking of these three flower spikes, flower buds that you're seeing as you, your mom, and your grandma. We're all here joking about, even did some target practice out for everyone. I do apologize that you have been feeling negativity. I promise the people in the stream have some of the biggest hearts I've ever experienced. Please take the time to listen. See if anything applies to you. It certainly does to me. Isaac, thank you for sharing that love, my friend. But yeah, okay, I'm not even gonna continue that. But repeatedly saying we're breeding negativity is doing nothing but producing it in your own space. Let that go. No one wants to hurt you. Yeah, Isaac, literally exactly the same frequency, dude. We're tuned into exactly the same frequency. Sometimes the stream frustrates me because I just want to respond to every comment with an individual message of love. Just know I'm sending y'all love always. You're welcome to my life. Welcome to my life, dude. This is the way. This is the way. Thank you. Even mentally, you are sending that love. Wow, friend. It's heartbreaking that you feel that way. I hope you can take a calm breath with us. See the goodness that is brought into not just this space, but every space. Positivity and negativity exists in everything. In everything. And what you choose to look at, what you choose to observe, becomes you. Literally. You're like, oh, look at this negativity. Oh, negativity, negativity. Oh, negativity. And then you're like, man, life fucking sucks. Why? Why does it suck so much? Why does my food taste so? Do you want to continue that? Do you think it's gonna goes around you? Do you want to continue telling that story? No, I don't think so. I've been trying, but I've literally been attacked since being here after saying a controversial piece with the intent of remembering how good we all have it. In your positive people attack me and send threatening DMs. Positive people, people is a plural word. So I'm guessing you definitely received more than one threatening message from more than one person in that case with the words you're using. Like, we're not trying to be negative, friend, but you keep using words, you keep using language that is inflammatory. And if you keep doing that, then you're going to get inflammatory responses. You are creating this world for yourself. We're not doing it. You are. And if you keep creating that world for yourself, then don't be surprised if you find yourself in that world. You are telling that story. And you keep telling it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I can feel myself, like the trigger being like, but then I'm like, okay, stop telling myself that story. Stop telling myself the story that I'm angry. Stop telling myself the story that I'm frustrated. Because I understand where you're coming from as well. I understand that you're utilizing your infinite divine power to fuck with yourself. And you're completely welcome to do that. Very much so. I'm trying. I appreciate that. But I also appreciate that you don't. Melty wouldn't be able to keep up with the comments if you responded to each one yourself as well. Literally wouldn't be able to. I watched Daria for hours yesterday, and for whatever reason, it made me think of you. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Kira Burb. I feel there's so many good comments. My sleepy brain is surrounded with love. Burb. I've totally edited Daria growing up. Goodness. I wish I could have a drink with you one day and have a nice chat. We're manifesting it. You're manifesting it right now, Alexandre. That's the story we're telling ourselves. I would love to have a drink with you as well. I'll roll the first joint, if you will. You can crack me open a beer. I'll roll a joint as I take casual sips of it. We'll light it. Maybe we'll watch a sunset together. Maybe we'll go for a walk. Maybe we'll go and talk to some random people, feed some pigeons. Who knows, dude? We're creating that reality inside of our heads. And if we can see it in our minds, we can hold it in our hands, friend. I look forward to hugging you one day, Alexandre. Well, it's hard to believe you were threatened. Again, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't want to implore you to take a look at older streams we have called attention to not only Ukraine, but how we can help. Thank you, friend Isaac, for sharing that as well. And, Reddit at large. Like, if you're using Reddit, you would literally have to be blind, stupid, and deaf to not notice what's going on in the world right now. Extremely blind, stupid, and deaf. All of us know what's going on, friend. Or none of us are pretending it's not happening. But we are in this space now, and we can be happy in this space now. It's Ukraine, not Ukraine. What is different? There's nothing different. Thank you, Ukraine, the bot. Can't wait to see the photos. Me too. Me too. Been missing your comments and so glad you've joined us. Thank you, Ninja Peach. Strange bot, very strange bot, Servidia. Thank you, friend. Was feeling quiet this morning, a little more awake now. It's nice to have you. Awake and present, Isaac. Can't wait to share them. Think like little ninja fruits, stealthy. You will catch. Lol, I'm in Florida. They drank the orange juice. They all think Russia is great. Who? Who are you talking about? Who thinks that? Who drank the orange juice, friend? Please tell us. Please. I don't like leaving the house much. I don't either, actually, interesting enough. I mean, I don't mind it. If I leave the house knowing that I'm going to meet people, then I love leaving the house. But if I don't just leave the house for the sake of leaving the house, if you will. I mean, I think of the outside as the house as well. So I don't know if I'm tripping. I appreciate the love you are trying to spread, but sadly, this seemed like a nice place. I wanted to have a little meaningful disclosure, but it has been toxic for me in leaving. God bless you, and I hope Slovenia to find the peace they deserve. Thank you for sharing love, my friend. We will. Do I want to lie? You know what? No, I'm in fact not lying. Upon rethinking it, I look forward to seeing you again, Tittle. I look forward to it, friend. I don't know about geese, but chickens are really fucking hard to catch. I totally ended up mud mall. Then one while chasing escaped chickens at the farm I work at. Aiden, I tried to catch one of the geese yesterday. He had like a little string, around his feet. Too fast, dude. Too freaking fast. Star Wars was like that. However, drone slash droid cameras as well, when they can control themselves rather than remote control like current technology, it would be awesome to like have good frames. Like it can frame me up, and I can tell it, okay, get like a side profile, and then I'm like, okay, get a behind the shoulder or over shoulder shot, of this person's face, or get now, a sweeping up angle. Man, I would. Oh goodness, don't even get me started. Scorp is a true thinker. He really is. Really, really is. Well, sad to see you go, friend. I hope you do try again. The space has truly changed my life in a way that sounds cheesy. There is so much here to discover and feel loved. Enjoy your day, peace, and hold awareness close to you. Isaac, not cheesy at all, friend. It has changed my life as well. I second this message. There we go, mum's the word. Thank you for joining us, my friend. So nice to have you here as well. Reminding myself today that we can't be responsible for how we're perceived, only for what we create out of what we receive. Ooh, that's beautiful. Reminding myself today that we can't be responsible for how we're perceived, only for what we create out of what we receive. Oh, that one's going in the book, Jovan. That one is definitely going in the book. I'm vibrating with excitement. I'm checking on my other orchid in a Valentine's Day gift 2 to 3 years ago, but has never rebloomed, but was growing leaves and roots. Well, I may have a bloom spike. That's amazing. That's so amazing, Naomi. I hope it is. Like when you say may, why is it there is confusion or like questioning? Remind myself. Remind yourself that you can't control, can't be responsible for how you perceived. Is it BR? Yes. Perceived. Perceived. How you are perceived only what we create out of what we receive. And as I'm writing this down, Jovan, I'm thinking to myself how, on top of the fact that we can't create or, in your word, be responsible for how we are perceived, only for the things that we create with what we receive, even if we do that, people will still perceive us in one way or another, assuming things, not understanding how much information, how much turmoil, how much etc., went into what we have received and what we have created. What we had to create with what we had to receive back in the day, and how that shifts. That perception is never something we have to be responsible for, could be responsible for. Thank you so much for sharing that. So cool. I have been wanting to create a terrarium similar, but God of plant life. I mean, do it, Ninja Peach, absolutely. Do you know about the four agreements? Be impeccable with your word. Always, or that's like always tell the truth. Uh, don't take anything personally. Man, can you tell them again, dude? I want to keep repeating them in my mind. I even have a printout of the four agreements, weirdly enough. But it seems my mind is letting me go. I'm trying to live that way at least, as much as I can. How about you, David? Bloom spikes have a shape described like a mitten with an indent in the middle making two round lumps. I think it's a shape that way, but it's hard to tell when it's so small. Okay, well, I mean, you'll know as it keeps growing. Do you have them on the windowsill? Don't make assumptions and do your best. There we go. Thank you so much, my friend. So be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make any assumptions and try your best. Try your best. Because if you do those four things, so what the four agreements is based on is that we human beings are always making agreements with one another. And if you can get those four fundamental agreements right, you will live a good life. Being impeccable with your word, with whatever you're doing, helps you live a good life. Not assuming things because you don't know what's going on in other people's lives helps you live a better life. Doing your best helps you live a better life because you're doing your best. So you can never tell yourself that you're not doing your best. And then, have I forgotten again? Goodness, dude. Making assumptions, doing your best, being impeccable with your word. Goodness, dude. I feel like I'm tripping out or something, man. There's so much going on inside my head right now. It's crazy. It's crazy how much we have to take into consideration every single day as human beings. The stories we tell ourselves. It's literally an infinitely growing fractal, and all of these things kind of bleed into this singularity that we are. Just made my best for a new job. I've just made my best for a new job. I'm waiting for an answer, but I'm leaving it to the universe now. If it's meant to be, it will be. Alexandre. I hope for the best, you know? I'm not gonna hope for you to get the job. I'm not gonna hope for you not to get the job. I hope for the best outcome. So much love to you, my friend. Know that the best outcome is gonna be the one you're gonna get as well. Ah, love it. I honestly feel so connected. The water features and fish. Maybe it's the water sign in me. I want to be the Aquaman of my snail one bedroom apartment. Small one bedroom apartment. You already are, Isaac. You already are at the bay. I hope you know that, man. The only thing we can control is how we choose to perceive things and what we create. After that is in the hands of the universe. Whew. Thank you for sharing that as well, brother. Genuinely, do you look like Jason Momoa? Go Aquaman. Yes, you said the really scary word. My hope is that are the Russians have before they have somebody who was able to stop this. I'm missing you a little bit, my friend. I have to get ready to leave and drive, but I'm listening for as long as my LTE holds. Thank you, brother Aiden, for joining us. I hope you drive safe. Sending you so much love. Banana would be laughing at the point at me if he was watching. I need to be more patient. We all can, benefit from being more patient. Don't take anything personally. Okay. I'm like really like my mind didn't want to let go of the whole four assumptions thing. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Make no assumptions. Do your best. Remember, brain. Remember. Like for some reason, my brain likes threes. If it was the three agreements, I would have instantly remembered. Maybe I can roll the don't make assumptions into don't take anything personally as well. Because if someone says something to you and you take it personally, you're making an assumption as well, technically. Be more patient. We can all benefit from that. Ninja Peach, oh goodness, patience. Ooh, if life teaches us anything over and over again, it's patience. Patience is hard. Whenever we get negative comments, I tend to stop texting because I instantly just want to tear them up. My protective brain comes out, but I sit and breathe and feel the love instead. Thank you for like taming that divine masculine part of you. Power is overrated. Power is not only overrated, but it's futile. David, like think about that, friend. Like imagine getting so obsessed with occupying a fraction of a spot, circling a burning spot, circling a black hole within like small little, speck within an entire infinite universe. What do you think you're gaining? Nothing. Nothing. I think is that you? I think so. David Miklotais, you're joining us on the YouTube. Our words have more of an impact on our lives and the lives of others, so we need to speak carefully. And 99% of suffering would be gone by just not making assumptions and not taking anything personally, right? Especially with, the world as it is right now. Like there's so much left up to interpretation that we make assumptions automatically. It's almost what we expect ourselves to do. But you're so right, we cause so much suffering in ourselves with that. I perceive you splendidly, as we do you as well. Gabby goo, thank you for joining us, my friend. It's so nice to have you here. Personally, don't beat yourself up if you fail. Just do your best. Just do your best, my friend. And upon you saying that, be impeccable with your word. There we go. Nice and wrapped up, in a beautiful little package. The best thing you can do with power is give it away. Yow! Man, I like that. The best thing you can do with power is give it away. I'm so trying not to respond with a Star Wars meme to this. Please respond with a Star Wars meme. My response is practicing patience. It is what I am and always will be a work in progress. I just want what I want and I want it now. Is that so much as that instant gratification monkey shaking the cage? I'm being hyperbolic, but I have definitely always been demanding of the universe. Give and take. Ebbs and flows. The sine waves, the infinitudes. It's just the nature of the world we're living in, my friend. Thank you for allowing yourself to notice that and to live into that a little bit at least. It's true. Get it together, universe. Sadly, no more like a scruffy off-brand Timothy Charlotte. Isaac, you're beautiful, dude. Don't say that, man. I don't know who Timothy Charlotte is. Like Isaac is just Isaac in my brain right now. You know, and I see Isaac, so Isaac, I see Isaac is like a being, you know, and I see face, and then I see his hair, like into different colors and different shapes and stuff. Like that is Isaac in my brain right now. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. I feel that, friend. Are you a practicer of Buddhism? Like I think you would really love our friend, you know, monk life as well. When we give happily and receive gratefully, everyone is blessed. Like I feel like I'm tripping out because I'm reading your words twice, like from different mediums. Like one of them is past you and one of them is present you. My tongue is bleeding from biting it so much. Beautiful perspective. Always look for the lesson, right? I joined on YouTube because Reddit is running slow. No, I'm running slow, friend. The YouTube usually is a little bit more because the comments they're gone now. You know, I can't see the comments anymore. Where I read every single one of the comments on the Reddit, and it takes a while sometimes. Saltwater, balanced water, not the sea but mixed. All it allows for sea life to survive. A bit more work, but still so fun. Coral, clownfish, and the like. Having a clownfish in a tank in your apartment would be quite a vibe. I can't agree. Can't agree. Nice. I can't agree. Forgive me if I don't call you Aquaman. Perhaps Sai Hulud instead. I don't know who that is, unfortunately. You have a Nemo land? Good or bad or subjective, although there are a few actions that are inherently evil. And we know that as well. You know, that's the thing, David. Like, we can feel that for ourselves. It's like a message on our heart. Fear is the mind killer. My favorite book. Fear is the mind killer indeed, Isaac. Oh, goodness. How many people has it killed? Like, one of the things I really, like, I feel like I'm sad about it is I think about how many things we could have created if people weren't too scared to start. Disney makes a whole film of Finding Nemo, and it turns out Isaac was him. Finding Isaac. Going to just getting the balance and salt of the bacteria right so I can introduce fishies. Do you have like stuff to measure that with? Or do you like use microscopes? I'm really curious. Are you streaming on multiple platforms? I don't see all the comments you're reading. I am streaming on multiple platforms, but there's a delay a little bit, David. Like the YouTube streams, I feel is a little bit more wide, and I think of YouTube as almost like an archive, so I can reference these streams as well a little bit more easily. Reddit's current searching algorithm is a little bit yikes. Melty off at 23. Thank you for letting our friend know, Servinia. He streams on YouTube too. There we go. That's how you got the link. Hello friends. Hello Lisa. Thank you for joining us. I sometimes suffer from missing my ex. I love him so much, and despite him hurting me, I'm using this as energy to try and prove myself. I feel, you know, that part of you, Alexandre, isn't something that is in need of improvement. Just to give you a compliment. Like the fact that you're still loving of this person, even though they've hurt you, says more about you than it does about them at the end of the day. I love the detail Mel puts into his imagination. You crack open a beer, I'll roll a joint while taking a few sips of beer. Not a few sips, not a sip, but 2 sips. I don't know why this has become. Like, you're a verb. I wish I could show you friends what's going on inside my mind sometimes. And a part of me is like, that would be a super bad idea, dude. You do not want to do that. Like, I cannot switch off sometimes, all the times. I try to, and I feel, you know, that's why I started smoking weed in the first place. It allowed me to melt more a little bit, and that's why I was drawn to psychedelics. Same thing. That's why I'm drawn to this space. It allows us to just melt a little bit for a second. Thanks for the goofy visuals and the Benny Hill music and the visuals. Wow, sister, powerful words. Reminding myself, it really is. It went into the book of things we're saying. Look who it is! That guy himself, Eric, Brother Bear. Howdy from Texas, beautiful people of the internet. Howdy to you. Thank you for joining us, Brother Eric. Sending you, your loved one, ones and your beautiful little critters. So much love. Pretty Cookie, thank you for joining us and saying hello. I don't know if I consider a Buddhist because I'm a baptized Christian, but there's tons to learn from the teachings of Buddha and the branches of yoga. Just as rain passes though the ill through, I'm guessing, the ill thatched house, so passion penetrates the undeveloped mind. So, in this context, is the developed mind a well thatched house? So, if you're a developed mind, would you then be immune to passion? In that case, I would never want my mind to be developed. Just keep, throwing adversity into it. Oh, you think you know shit? How about you eat some 7 grams of mushrooms? That's what I've been doing with myself, friend. Like I'm probably not gonna do it for a few years again, but I got what I asked for. I really got what I asked for, dude. Meowdy on behalf of Reddit. Thank you, Sir Vidya, for sharing a Meowdy with us. Oh wow, your snoo really looks like a candy floss. It does, candy floss hair and all. Wow. I wish I was a wizard. My friend, unfortunately, you have to be a virgin until you're 30 to become a wizard. Damn it. I fucked up, dude. Why did I get into a relationship at 16? Now I will never be a wizard. Damn. I'm just joking. Wyoni, thank you for joining us, my friend. I mean, what does being a wizard mean to you? I believe we are wizards and witches, but the magic we do is a little bit more subtle. The magic we do is being done right now. Just the rain does not break through a well-thatched house. Oh, does not pass through a well-thatched house. So passion never penetrates a well-developed mind. But isn't passion a good thing, David? Like, especially since I'm guessing you're Christian. There's this whole thing in Christianity, the passion of Christ. Like that passion for love, that passion for giving to the world is something that's a very big part of the Christian belief system. And I grew up Christian as well. My parents still are Christians. I have went more the route of monotheism, I guess, is one way you can label what I believe, as in all is one. There's no separation. Friend, yo, I've been too long. I've missed y'all. I've missed y'all's energy. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday. Even better, now that you're joining us, Eric. Thank you for being here again. Lisa Tech and Servinia loves you. Like Aiden, I want to reply to all of you individually, but I don't want to take over chat. Doubling it as love sent earlier. Thank you, Jovan. Those are the verses from Dapana's first chapter, Pairs. Okay, so they're like, okay, now I get what you were talking about. So one of those things, and what he's basically bringing to us, Dhammapad's first chapter of Pairs, is these statements, things worth saying, you can call it as well, that elicits a response from you, and then it goes back and forth between them. And then the point isn't necessarily to take those things as fact or as this is the way it is, but to allow yourself to think about and to feel into what is being said instead. As Melky requested, power, limited power. I zapped him with the light rings. Sai Hulad from Dune is the Fremen from Wormgod. Yes, of course. Instantly, I know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. From Dune, it's Fremen from Wormgod. I'm still a little bit iffy. That picture doesn't pop into my mind, unfortunately. Okay, here's another one. The evil doer grieves here and hereafter. He grieves in both the world. He laments and is afflicted, recollecting his own impure deeds. The doer of good rejoices here and thereafter. He rejoices in both the worlds. He rejoices and exalts, recollecting his own pure deeds. I like that, David. I feel that one is better. And so, on that note, I don't believe in hell. not in the hell that the Christian community believes in, at least. I believe, as you stated in that pair as well, the evildoer suffers right now. You know, if you kill a person, if you steal something, if you know, shout at your mom and have a big fight with her, there is something inside of you that doesn't feel right. It feels disconnected, it feels misaligned, and then you go throughout maybe the day, maybe the week, maybe the year, maybe your entire life suffering with that. I believe that is the hell we create for ourselves. And we do it so much. Dope shirt, dope energy. Have a blessed day. I salute you for being dope yourself, Quo. Thank you for joining us, friend. Hope you come back. This comment felt like a passing high five, and I enjoy it. I felt as well, actually, just like a, and then it walks away. Yes, and their magic, prescient shit dust. Prescient? Is that a word? It's like sentient, but prescient. I'm tripping out. The spice must flow. It does. So it does. This me. I have hair power, like in that one strange anime. Bo. Yes. In fact, it does, Isaac. In my mind, you do have superpowers, and you like that's the thing. Technically, I consider myself a wizard of intention. Like I magic everything in my life. I magic my water. I magic my food. Like I feel like I'm a little bit weird sometimes. Like if I make my mom coffee, I'll like get close to them, which is like love in Afrikaans. Like that's how I magic, friend. And you know, in my mind, Isaac is a magic. All of you friends are magical beings. You know, like thinking of Gabi, some tractor. Thinking about Ninja Peach, I imagine her with a little fruit cup. And unfortunately, even though I know it's a baby, like it's an actual like a big ass fruit cup, and Ninja Peach's arms. I agree. Hell and heaven, I feel, are both on earth. Just as we all have the potential for good and bad, our environment has the potential for heaven and hell. I agree, friend. And we're actively living into one of those spaces or another. And as soon as you allow yourself to notice that and to take control, responsibility even for that, I believe life becomes a lot easier, even more enjoyable, because you're like, oh shit, why would I not be doing this? So wizards are like Catholic priests? No, I'm joking. Your magic is subtle, Mel. Thank you, my friend. I try to be subtle with it. You know, if people assume I'm insane. Well, most of the time, if they see the stuff I get up to. Like I've saged our house. You know, I make like little sage bundles that I use with lavender, catnip, in no Mexican sage. Was there something else? No, I think those were the only ones I used. You know, and I light this sage, and I'm like walking through the house, creating an infinity symbol in front of me. And I'm like, love and light and love, light and love and light and love and light, and love is true. And I'm not allowing any negativity in the space. And I want my family to be joyous and happy and loving amongst themselves. And like you can call it magic, you can call it the ravings of a mad person, but it makes me feel something. And I've noticed how it changes the behaviors of my family members, even though they don't know. I don't tell them either. Even though they don't know of the stuff I was doing, I can see it influencing them as well. Sorry.